Good morning and welcome to another short devotional for Morristown Baptist Church and also Black Rock Baptist Church. I want to share with you this morning from John chapter 20 and verse 19 and talk, continue to talk this week about faith and fear. You know, fear always limits us. You can't experience God's best for you if you're living in fear. Think again about that first Easter evening, nearly 2,000 years ago. The disciples hadn't seen Jesus yet, but they've heard that he's risen from the dead. They don't know if they could, or if they can believe this or not. They're scared to death. The Bible describes it like this. That Sunday evening, the disciples were meeting behind locked doors because they were afraid of the Jewish leaders. Suddenly, Jesus was standing there among them. "Peace be with you," he said. Notice that they've locked the doors because they're afraid. That's what fear does. Fear locks you out of all the doors that God wants you to go through. Maybe you've had your heart broken and you're telling yourself, well, I'll never let anyone get close to me again. Maybe you took a risk on a new job and you bombed out. Now you never want to try a new career path again. Maybe you've been hurt by a church and now you've locked God out of your life because of it. We can't protect ourselves from pain in this world. It's foolish to even try because we live on a planet that is broken by sin. I read in a book recently about a young man who had every reason to be afraid when he discovered that he had inoperable brain cancer. But instead of fear, this young man consistently chooses faith. He said he gets asked all the time how he's dealt with the fear since his diagnosis. And I love his response. He mentions some specific resources that has helped him, things that can help you and I as well. I want to share those with you this morning. First of all, he talks about God's presence, and he says he knows he has a personal relationship with God, and that his God is not a distant deity. He is close beside him. God's presence. Secondly, God's promises in his word. For years, this young man had written songs based on the promises of God. And now he goes back through those songs that he has written, and they give him strength. They strengthen his faith. God hasn't changed. His promises are the same. He's also learned that if you're going through a tough time, you need more worship in your life. So he says, I worship God more than I ever did. He's learned also to lean on his church family for support. A friend, we really do need each other. And he has found strength in his church family. He found strength in the goodness of God's plan for him. He claims the promise from Romans 8:28. We know that in all things God works for good for those who love him, those who are called according to his purpose. He says, I hold on to that promise. What would you do if tomorrow you discovered you had inoperable cancer? Would you lock yourself in a prison of fear? Would you choose faith? You don't get that kind of confidence, the kind of confidence you need from a self-help book. You get it from knowing a God who is very personal, very present, and very real. God bless. Have a wonderful day, and until we meet again, let's continue to exchange prayers daily.